joining us. I am 𝐍𝐿𝐿 Brahma. We're looking at government's performance in the last year in government. My guest today is the Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Oneidge Walrond. Minister, thank you very much for joining us. How are you?
I am great. Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you in to have a conversation. But before we actually get into the review, I mean, it's been a year already. It's almost as if you just started yesterday.
In some respects, yes.
In some respects.
It's been a whirlwind, yes.
How has it been for you over the past year? And this is you from a personal perspective. This is not you, the work. This is just how have you been?
Well, as you know, I was plucked out and in this, and it's been exciting. It has been quite a learning experience, but it has been rewarding, and I'm just happy that it's now starting, and but the year has been quite a learning experience. It's been quite a learning trajectory for me personally. I don't think anything really prepares you for this kind of job, and it is you realize that you pull on every single part of your experience, work experience and personal experience to make this happen and to do this job. But I have had tremendous supportive cabinet colleagues, a supportive boss, which is the president, and learned a lot, and they've always been there to lend some advice and helping hand. So it's been really a great experience for me so far, and more so in how teamwork makes everything better. So I don't feel like I'm alone. Yes, that I'm carrying this alone. It's really truly a team effort from the aspect of my ministry, the ones who work in the ministry, the public servants, and my cabinet colleagues who give me that that support. So it has been great. It has been great. Yeah, I can't say that it felt like an entire year has passed. It felt like just yesterday.
Let's talk projects, the tourism sector, and you came into government just around the time of the lockdown and the COVID pandemic. Yes. And your sector would have been tourism, industry and commerce, would have been affected by it because pretty much nothing was moving around that time.
Yes.
What have you done? What would you say would have been the major strides or steps taken to revive or re-energize the sector and bring it back to a place of respectability or comfort, if you want to put it that way, at this stage within the past year?
Yes, indeed. When I took office, the tourism sector was at an absolute standstill. There was no sense of direction, what we do next, how do we recover, how do we survive, even more so recover. And immediately we, as the government, we have taken steps to train and to help, especially our interior hinterland locations and tourist operations, to help them to with training to reopen and how they can reopen safely, and how they can we developed a sanitization and protocols and a handbook, so they're equipped with the education, and when people go to a location, and how to keep themselves safe and their visitors safe. We donated the hinterland in the Rupununi, North, South and Central Rupununi. We donated to the lodges the necessary equipment that is needed for sanitization, and the PPP equipment, washing, and all of the liquids that are needed to run a safe facility. And that has really helped in terms of promoting and marketing Guyana during the COVID time as some place that you can come that is safe. And so what has happened is that they have seen some activity, and even during the COVID, because our tourist product is marketed to small groups, which is what COVID has taught us, that we should stay in our bubble, small groups, so we're not transmitting. It's not mass, it's not crowds. It's your small group, and you're in wide open spaces. And with the training and the support that we've been able to give them in terms of keeping sanitized, keeping the rooms healthy, and training the staff, all of that support government has given, they were able to at least resume some economic activity during the COVID with their small spaces. So that has been a success story in that it has not been they've been able to quickly be revitalized. Of course, it's not there at 100% yet because every now and then you get rises of the COVID, and so we have to scale back. But they're able, because they've been equipped with the knowledge and how to run a COVID-safe facility, they are, all of the lodges have been able to recover quickly from if there is an outbreak. And we continue to give them support, and they are constantly being inspected by the tourism authority under my ministry, and the inspection, and they're given certification so they make sure that they continue to maintain those protocols. And that has gone a far way in marketing Guyana as a safe tourist destination. In fact, one of our videos under the theme of safe travel won first place. It's a worldwide. It had thousands of submissions, and Guyana's video won first place because of our initiatives that we've taken in there. Because safety is everybody's concern, yes. And that's how people will be willing to travel and come to experience and to take part in our tourism because they know it's safe, and that is where we've been heading.
Moving in a safe and enjoyable direction at this stage. I beg your pardon. Looking at persons coming in to experience this, are you satisfied with the numbers of persons taken up given the pandemic at this point? And are you strengthening your efforts, of course, to target more areas to say, hey, Ghana's open, you guys can come, and we've got a safe space in which you can relax and move around? We
continue during this COVID period. Like I said, when I took up this appointment, there was no sense of direction of the tourist industry. Where are they going? And so quickly we've been able to reinstill in our sector that we are interested in and we are determined that you will recover, and that we will recover better than ever. So during this time we've been taking, during this COVID time, that has been a time to really reset. We have launched several other tourism products, several tours, reopened and more areas for community-based tourism, Moroccobai, and we have had and other hinterland areas. And so we continue to do the work to make sure that Guyana maintains its title as the #1 ecotourism destination. And in fact, Forbes magazine recently has named Guyana one of the coveted places to travel after the pandemic. And by the airports being open, and like I said, our particular ecotourism product is COVID ready because it's wide open spaces and because it's small groups. We are not the cruise ship kind of tourism, the 24,000 room hotels. We are not the crowded beaches. No, we are small, bird watching, fishing. You go with your group, you go in your bubble, and so you remain safe. The visitor is able to remain safe, and of course the service staff is able to remain safe as well. So this time has been a time to really relook at how our tourism products can be better. We have developed tourism and established tourism communities in every single region, because Guyana is beautiful. Every single inch of Guyana is, and every region we've been able to establish tourism committees so they can identify the areas in their communities that can be used to attract visitors and attract tourists. And of course, that means attracting jobs and attracting the employment for the local peoples. And so that has been a great initiative that has really caught on. We are doing product developments in all different regions, Parima, Region 5, and there are so many other areas that we have regions that have expressed interest in developing tourism products. So it's been, in a short time, there has been an excitement, a revitalization of interest in their tourism. Of course, you know, when we came appointment within a month or so, we sent out expressions of interest for branded hotels, which is what we need to augment our tourism offerings, because people need a place to stay, and most people want to stay in places that they recognize, are recognizable brands. And already we've turned sod on 4 of those hotels, and in another 2.5 years, you will be seeing branded hotels across Guyana. And that has been a direct achievement of this government initiative. We have offered them in the expression of interest incentives for these branded hotels, and we got over 30 expressions of interest from different the Hyatts and the Best Westerns and the Hiltons, and we've seen the sod turn in for another Marriott at the airport. Right. We've seen the sod turn in of a Hilton, not a Hilton, a Best Western. So it's been an exciting time, and it's quite an achievement that we have already seen movement in terms of our capacity to entertain and guests, and people want to have proper room and board that is of international standard, and that is what we'll be able to provide in a few short years.
Investment is key. It's critical. It's coming in at this point. We've done a pretty good synopsis of what has happened in the last year, and of course you're projecting 2.5 to 3 years, all of these completed or near completion. As we wrap in the immediate future, in the short-term future, what is your vision for your ministry? What is your vision for your sector?
Yes. Well, Lee, it's not just tourism that is, it's industry and commerce that is under my portfolio, and the entire ministry as a whole is to, the commerce and business is to make the ease of doing business, to alleviate the burden on investors and even Guyanese in their day-to-day running. So we have the single window business, single windows for trade, where you're able to do a one-stop shopping if you want to do all of your import and export. And the Small Business Bureau, we continue to push for the small business to undergird our small business, and we have set the 20% set aside for our small businesses to be able to thrive. And they're not more and more we're bolstering our small business, because they're the ones that really drive the economy. And so there have been hundreds of grants already given, over 135 million already disbursed, small business grants. That includes the 25 million of COVID relief grants. We've been able to give our small businesses relief grants. And so that is, we continue to undergird our small business while we open and lay a foundation for investment, general investment, and for business to be able to, people be able to come to Guyana, and the Guyanese who are here to be able to conduct their business with ease. And we continue to do that work. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Minister. In that synopsis, you've given me everything I needed to hear at this point in time. I'd just like to say best wishes going forward, and I hope that you continue to reap the rewards, the benefits of this job that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Thank you very much. That was Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Oneidge Walrond, reviewing her ministry's performance over the past year. I am Leron Brummel. Thanks very much for joining us, and do remember to be safe.